Hi everyone, welcome to Yoga with Heini. I'm Heini, and this week I'm going to lead you through a flow practice for opening the chest space. So we have a lot of movements and poses that open the chest and the shoulder area. Let's get started. For this week's practice, you don't necessarily need any props, but if you want to use something under your back in the very end for opening the chest once more in our relaxation pose, you could have a couple of cushions, a couple of pillows, or maybe a bolster, or even a yoga block. Something to place under your back to get that a bit more relaxed opening for the chest in the end. But if you don't have anything handy, that's very fine. You can do this practice without props as well. Just have some kind of space, maybe a mat for you to practice on. And then we shall get started. And today we're going to open our practice in a standing mountain pose. So find your way, maybe close to the top of the mat in your steady mountain pose. You could have your feet hip width apart or maybe even a bit wider apart. And give yourself a few slightly deeper breaths in and out here. Allowing the breaths to move down towards the chest, out to the sides, expanding the rib cage gently. Maybe sending the breaths all the way down towards the belly. But now that we are in a standing, a bit more active pose, it might be easier to breathe towards the ribs rather than all the way down to the belly, because we have maybe that subtle, gentle core support going on. And going with our theme as well, opening the chest space, you could focus more on breathing towards the ribs. Try to keep your breath soft, so we're not forcing the breath. And also trying to not stick the chest out, but more just finding gentle space. Allowing shoulders to drop down away from the ears. We'll take a few more breaths here in the standing mountain pose. And throughout the practice, when we start to move, just look for space, ease in your breath and movements. Not forcing, not necessarily even looking for a stretch, but more just creating space. And if you have had your eyes closed in this first mountain pose, you could now open your eyes as we start to move more. And with your next in-breath, lengthen, even gently reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, cactus the arms. So you're bending from the elbows, opening the chest. And breathe here a few times in and out, not pushing the chest forward. Just using the breath to open the chest space. One more breath in and out. And then with your next in-breath, float your arms back up. Bring palms together and then exhale, lower your palms down in front of your chest. Just very lightly pressing the palms towards each other. Allowing this gentle pressing to keep the chest and the upper back wide. Either stay in your steady mountain pose or with your next exhalation, lift your heels off the mat, finding a bit more balancing in this mountain pose. But if that feels too much now at the beginning of the practice, if you feel very wobbly, you're very welcome to keep the heels on the mat. But focus on keeping the chest and the upper back wide. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, release the heels down, release the arms down, and inhale again, Lengthen arms, float the arms up. Exhale again, cactus the arms, this time bending your knees. That might give you a bit more space to go into a back bend. And again, a few breaths here, in and out. Keep the weight on the heels and the balls of the feet. Breathing towards the chest. Take another breath in and out. And then with your next in-breath, again, float the arms up and bring palms together. Now we're going to exhale down into chair pose. So bending the knees, hands, the palms come again in front of the chest. And here as well, that light pressing of the palms against each other. Feeling the wide space all around the rib cage. There's plenty of space for you to breathe. Sometimes chair can be a challenging pose for breathing. So leave that space in the ribs. Take another breath in and out. And then with your next breath, slowly fold forward. Arrive into your full forward bend. And you decide here if you want to keep the knees bent or if you want to extend the legs more. Now soften your hands, soften your arms and let the heavy head hang down. Take another breath in and out here. Now folding in, allowing that front space to close. And then slowly bend the knees and step your right foot far back, coming into a low runner's lunge. And you decide if you keep that right knee off the mat or if you'd like to bring the right knee down to the mat, you're very welcome to do that. First, we're going to twist. We're going to inhale, open the chest, turning chest towards the left knee. And you could either reach that left arm up or you could also release the left arm behind the back. Sometimes bringing the arm down helps us focus on that opening in the chest. So it's more about that torso rotating, the chest opening than trying to reach the arm up. And take another breath in and out. If you have that right knee off the mat, slowly lower the knee down. Maybe pelvis coming a bit lower down. And then you can either stay in that lunge or slowly bend the right knee and reach your left hand to your right foot behind you. So arriving into a lizard pose. You might rotate the front hip, the front foot more open as well. And another couple of breaths. So if you're holding your foot, you might feel a bigger opening in the front of the thigh as well. And then slowly exhale, release the pose. Turn chest down to the mat. And then bring the right foot toes under again. And lift your right knee off the mat. We're going to inhale. Now lift the back, lift the arms up. And exhale again, cactus the arms. Once more, cactusing the arms on this first side, this first round. And here, opening now, still through the front of the right leg. Bringing that opening all the way into the chest. Breathe in and out. And as you inhale, you can float the arms up. Bring palms together. Once more, lower palms in front of the chest. And focus your eyes onto something that's not moving. We have 2 feet on the mat, but it's still a slightly balancing this pose. So focus your eyes. Find that space all around the rib cage, at the back, on the sides, at the front. Take another breath in and out. Tops of the shoulders soft. And then slowly exhale, release down. Bring hands back onto the mat. And now with the next in-breath, swing your left leg up into the air behind you. And you could let your hips open. Maybe even bend the left knee so your left foot comes closer to the buttock. So open 3-legged dog. Think about reaching that left knee away from the left armpit. Breathe in and out. You could bring both feet down if the three-legged dog feels too much right now. And then slowly closing the hips. Exhale forward into plank. And now bring your left knee all the way down to the mat. We're going to come into gate pose. So you could step your left hand a bit further forward along the mat. And then inhale, turn your pelvis, turn your chest out to the long side of the mat. The right foot gently pressing down. The left foot, the left shin could go behind you. And you have options for your arm. You could either now lengthen that right arm closer to the head, so you're opening the right side body even more. Or another option would be to bring that right arm behind the back. And again, maybe releasing the arm gives more space for the chest to open. You decide where you want to go now. And breathe. If your neck gets tense, you might turn your gaze down to the mat. One more breath here. Feel the opening from the front of the right leg all the way to the chest. And then as you inhale, reach that right arm up and bring yourself up to standing on the left knee. You can open arms into a T shape. We're going to now rotate the right hip open, like in a warrior two pose, so a modified warrior two and side angle here. Still the left knee, and also now the right foot on the mat, the right knee bent. First inhale, and then exhale. You could lean towards the right leg. Maybe you bring your right hand around the right shin or ankle, or you could slide your hand even down onto the mat. And same options for the arms here. Left arm could either lengthen closer to the head, opening the left side body, keeping the chest open. Or you'd be very welcome to bring the left arm behind the back. Again, imagine you're opening from the left hip all the way to the chest. And use the breath to create more space. You might look down if the neck gets tense. And then slowly again, reach the left arm up. Bring yourself back up. And once more, lean onto your left hand. This time, lift your right foot off the mat. So floating the right leg in the air. And you can either balance here or bend the right knee and reach your right hand towards the right foot. A bit like you might have done in the lizard pose. And then let the chest open. You could even gently kick the right foot further away from your shoulder to open through the shoulder and the chest space. Breathing in and out. You could imagine your exhalations rising up from your lower belly, a bit of core support. And then slowly exhale. Release the right foot down. Bring both hands to the mat. Turn the chest, turn the pelvis to the mat. And then step into a brief downward facing dog with 2 feet on the mat. And you could pedal the feet a bit. You could move your hands and let the heavy head hang down. Breathe in and out a couple of times in your own downward facing dog. Maybe knees bent here as well. And then you could leave your feet where they are and start to walk your hands to your feet, arriving into a full forward bend. Head can drop down. Take a couple of breaths in and out. And then we are going to go into that flow on the other side, starting from the lunge. So walk your hands back forward And then step your right foot forward to your hands. And we're going to do the twist. So you have an option to either keep the left knee off the mat or bring the left knee down to the mat. We're going to open the chest and this time reach the right arm up. And you could reach the arm towards the ceiling or release the right arm behind the back. Same options you had before. Again, let your chest bone lead the way into the twist. And then if you have your left knee off the mat, slowly bring it down. Let your pelvis come just a bit further down. And then you have the option for lizard, bending the left knee and reaching right hand to the left foot or maybe just the toes. And you might create more space for the hips by opening the right hip, turning the right foot a bit further out to the side. And a couple more breaths in and out. Head could turn one way or the other. And after those couple of breaths, if you are holding your left foot, slowly release the foot down. Bring both hands to the mat and tuck the left foot toes under so you could lift the left knee off the mat. We're going to inhale, come back up into that higher lunge, arms floating up. Exhale, once more, cactus the arms, now on this other side. Keep tops of the shoulders soft. Elbows could be soft, hands could be soft. Breathing towards the front ribs. Take another breath in and out. And then slowly, slowly reach arms back up. Bring palms together and exhale. Bring palms down in front of the chest. Again, that light pressing against each other through both palms. You might bend the left knee here as well. That might help you to adjust where you feel that opening in the front of the left leg. And breathe. Now find some space at the back of the ribs, out on the sides. One more breath in and out. And then we're going to slowly release this lunge. Bring your hands down. And we're going to swing now the right leg up into the air. You could open the hips, maybe even bend the right knee if you want. If you like more of that opening from the right armpit to the right knee, so that whole side and front line. And still breathing here. We're upside down, so breathing might sometimes feel a bit more difficult, but keep breathing. Take another breath in and out. And then we're going to travel into the gate pose. So slowly close the hips, come forward onto the hands so that you could bring your right knee onto the mat. And then maybe step the right hand a bit further forward on the mat. We're going to now turn pelvis, turn chest to the other long side of the mat. And you had options for the arms here. You could reach the left arm closer to the head, so it opens more that left side body. Or you could also bring the left arm behind the back. And see where you could release the neck. Maybe your neck is in that side bend as well. Take another breath in and out. The left foot grounding down. And then as you inhale, reach the left arm up and bring yourself up to standing on the right knee. And we have that modified warrior two and side angle pose. So now open your left hip. Maybe adjust where the left foot is. And we're going to slowly, slowly exhale, lean towards the left leg. And again, you can bring your left hand around the left shin, ankle, or maybe all the way down to the mat. Open the chest, inhale to the chest. And if you want, you might lengthen the right arm now next to the head. So now there could be a bigger opening along the right side body. But same option here, the right arm could be behind the back. Try to focus on keeping the front of the right thigh, hip open, chest open, breathing in and out. Trying to keep tops of the shoulders soft. Take one more breath in and out. Could be a big opening around the inner thigh as well in that left leg. And then we're going to inhale, reach the right arm up, come back to the center, and then lean once more onto the right hand. You can walk the right hand forward on the mat. And now lift your left foot, your left leg into the air. And again, you could balance, stay here, or bend the left knee and reach your left hand to the left foot to open once more, one final time at the front of the chest, the front of the left leg. And breathing here again. You might exhale from the lower belly. Maybe the left foot gently kicking away from your pelvis, away from the shoulders. Let's take another breath in and out. And then slowly release the left foot down. Bring both hands to the mat, turning chest, turning pelvis towards the mat. And we'll step into our last downward dog. Again, just to move, so you could let your hips move, your dog, you could wag its tail a bit, shake the head a bit. Breathe in and out. And then bring your knees down and find yourself into a child's pose for a few breaths. Let your chest lean down. You could leave arms overhead. You could bring hands under the head, bending the elbows. You might even bring your arms next to your legs. And just allow the shoulders to kind of roll in. Let the chest close, opening a bit more in the back side, between the shoulder blades, breathing towards the back side. A couple more breaths in and out in your child's pose. Maybe letting the breath calm down, slow down a bit as well. And then slowly with your next few breaths, help yourself first onto all fours or into a seat. We are going to find our way sitting, and this is the point where you could now bring your props in. So if you have pillows, if you have cushions, a bolster, a block somewhere nearby, this is where you could now bring those props under your back. We're going to come into our final resting pose. So if you have any props, bring them behind you so that you can use them as a support as we lean down onto that support to create one more opening across the chest. And you might take some time to find where exactly you want your props to be. But looking for one more opening in the chest space. And when you've found that good place for your prop, see if you want to keep your knees bent. If you'd like to open legs into a reclining butterfly pose. Or you might decide you want to extend your legs. So leg shape is very optional here. Once more, we focus on the chest space. You could bring arms out to the sides or even bring arms over the head along the floor. And this will be our final pose. So make this comfortable. Even if there is a prop under the back, make sure it's not hurting. Or if it is hurting, keep on adjusting or push the prop aside. You could also do a Shavasana pose. You don't have to use any props. Once you feel that you have found your shape, maybe close your eyes and take a few slightly deeper breaths in and out. You can feel those breaths sliding down through the chest, down to the bottom of the ribs, maybe even all the way down towards the belly, if that feels okay. And allow each exhalation to soften, to release tension. If you feel that your pose still needs adjusting, feel free to make changes. And then give yourself a moment of silence, allowing your body to quiet down, allowing your breath to calm down, letting your mind rest in your breath. Give yourself another 5 to 10 breaths in your resting pose. Towards the end of those 5 to 10 breaths, deepen your breath. Give yourself a couple of bigger breaths in and out. Slowly waking up your body if you feel ready to do that. If you want to stay longer in your Shavasana pose, in your resting pose, you're very welcome to do that. If you feel ready to slowly start moving, start by opening your eyes, moving your fingers, your toes, your palms, your feet. And then from your back, slowly curl down, roll down onto one side. Could be the left or the right side, which one feels easier. So rather than jumping up into a seat, roll onto one side first. And then from your side, slowly bring yourself up into a seat, into your own final seated pose. And that could be any pose, easy pose. Take a few more breaths here. Just checking in how that chest space feels now. Again, reminding yourself to leave that softness there. We're not pushing, we're not sticking the chest out. Just allowing space. If it's part of your practice, you could once more bring your palms together in front of the chest. And as always, at the end of the practice, thank yourself. Most importantly, thank yourself for taking this time to check in with yourself, to practice a bit. And I thank you very much for joining in. Namaste. Thank you. Good. I hope you feel good now. Thank you so much again for joining in. If you have any questions about the practice, leave them in the comments below. I'm very happy to chat. And also, if you enjoyed the practice, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. There will be much more yoga related videos every week. Thank you again, and I'll see you next week. Bye.